Good morning and welcome to Flourishing During Challenging Times, our contemplative meditation group here on our Jesuit campus at Blessed Sacrament, Hollywood. Today is going to be a great day. Happy Friday. My name is Father Frank Buckley. I'd like to welcome you to this morning's contemplative practice. If you're new, this is a three-part program. We began with a little inspiration, as I promised you all, and many have been anticipating it. On Friday is always a poem, and we have a very special one for today. Second part is the contemplative practice, where we turn the gaze inwards, give the first part of the morning to God, and then allow the rest of the day just to unfold as she will. And the last part of the practice, something very close to St. Ignatius's own heart, is a Jesuit examen, where on Fridays, we just look over the week and notice where God came alive for us in new and beautiful ways. So also, this is the last of my 8-day Jesuit retreat, and happy to have been on it all week and get to share with you some of the graces of that retreat. So this morning for our poem, in light of Inauguration Week, we will go to Amanda Gorman, the nation's first ever youth poet laureate, who read the following poem during the inauguration of President Joe Biden on January 20th. For me, it was one of the highlights of the whole day. So let's end our week celebrating Inauguration Day with this beautiful poem. We've learned that quiet isn't always peace, and the norms and notions of what just isn't always just ice. And yet the dawn is ours before we knew it. Somehow we do it. Somehow we've weathered and witnessed a nation that isn't broken, but simply unfinished. We, the successors of a country and a time where a skinny black girl descended from slaves and raised by a single mother, can dream of becoming president, only to find herself reciting for one, and yes, we are far from polished, far from pristine, but that doesn't mean we are striving to form a union that is perfect. We are striving to forge a union with purpose, to compose a country committed to all cultures, colors, characters, and conditions of man. And so we lift our gaze not to what stands between us, but what stands before us. We close the divide because we know to put our future first, we must first put our differences aside. We lay down our arms, so we reach out our arms to one another. We seek harm to none and harmony for all. Let the globe, if nothing else, say this is true, that even as we grieved, we grew, that even as we hurt, we hoped, that even as we tired, we tried, that we'll never forget we tied together victorious, not because we will never again know defeat, but because we will never again sow division. Scripture tells us to envision that everyone shall sit under their own vine and fig tree, and no one shall make them afraid. If we're to live up to our own time, then victory won't lie in the blade, but in all the bridges we made. That is the promise to glade. The hill we climb, if only we dare, it's because being American is more than a pride we inherit. It's the past we step into and how we repair it. We've seen a force that would shatter our nation rather than share it, would destroy our country if it meant decaying democracy. And this effort very nearly succeeded. But while democracy can't be periodically delayed, it can never be permanently defeated. In this truth, in this faith, we trust. For while we have our eyes on the future, history has its eyes on us. This is the area of just redemption. We feared at its inception. We did not feel to be prepared to be the heirs of such a terrifying hour, but within it we found the power to author a new chapter, to offer hope and laughter to ourselves. So while once we asked, how could we possibly prevail over catastrophe, now we assert, how could catastrophe possibly prevail over us? We will not march back to what was, but move to what shall be. A country that is bruised but whole, benevolent but bold, fierce and free. We will not be turned around or interrupted by intimidation, because we know in our inaction and inertia will be the inheritance of the next generations. Our blunders become their blunders. But one thing is certain. If we merge might with might and might with right, then love becomes our legacy and change our children's birthright. So let us leave behind a country better than the one we were left with. Every breath from my Brown's pounded chest, we will raise this wounded world into a wondrous one. We will rise from the gold-limbed hills of the West. We will rise from the windswept Northeast, where our forefathers first realized revolution. We will rise from the lake-rimmed cities of the Midwestern states, and will rise from the sun-baked South. We will rebuild, reconcile, and recover. And every known nook of our nation and every corner called our country, our people diverse and beautiful will emerge, battered and beautiful. And when day comes, we step out of the shade of flame and unafraid. The new dawn blooms as we free it. For there is always light, if only we're brave enough to see it. If only we're brave enough to be it. Well, thank you, Amanda Gorman, for that beautiful poem. It certainly resonates with what we have been reading about all week from Pope Francis. And I love your last line, for there is always light if we're brave enough to see it, if we're brave enough to be it. One of the best ways I know not to miss the light is through a contemplative practice. So, with that as our inspiration from Amanda this morning, let's get ready to move into our contemplative practice. I invite you to get comfortable, take your shoes off, let your feet touch the earth, and we'll begin shortly. I'm going to lower the lights. So one of the ways we flourish is to unplug. I invite you to unplug from all technology. I will set the timer for 20 minutes so you don't have to worry about that. I'll ring the bell to get us started and ring the bell to bring us out, and we'll do a little guided meditation. So I invite you to lower the eyes, turn the gaze inwards, and we'll begin and end with the sound of the bell. Listen, listen. The sound of this beautiful bell returns us to our true home. As always, we'll begin with diaphragmatic breathing. That is by breathing deeply as possible into the lower belly 3 times, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Together, inhale, open mouth, exhale. Getting a little grounded. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Last time, give it all you got. Inhale and exhale. Continue to breathe on your own. Take the attention to the body. It's Friday. Let's feel the feet touch the earth on this beautiful Friday morning. Notice what it feels like to be alive, to notice the sensations in the feet as they touch the earth. Moving up the body, we arrive at the chair, providing support. And let's just reflect on where we felt supported recently during this inauguration week, and just lean into that support. Beautiful. Next, we arrive at the shoulders, and any tension you've been holding on to this week, just let it go. Let it slide down the shoulders and let the earth receive it. Relax, restore, renew. Moving towards the front of the body, I invite you to take your hands to the heart, cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Let's reflect back over the week and see if we can come up with something over this week for which we're grateful, and just name it in a word or two. Gently place that word towards the center of your heart, and as a community, let's breathe into that gratitude. Inhale. Exhale. Release the hands and just notice what you feel. Finally, we arrive at the forehead, the area between the eyebrows, the seat of intuition, and we focus on an intention for Friday morning. Something we desire deeply in our life in this moment, in the spirit of St. Ignatius, being courageous enough to ask God for something great and beautiful today. And we'll seal that intention with an inhale and exhale. Notice the sounds. Engage your sacred word 4 or 5 times, then drop down and just enjoy a little deep rest and the miracle of a contemplative practice. Please continue. Very, very gently bring your attention back to the room. If the eyes were closed, go ahead. Let's open the eyes. Let's circle the wrist a little one way, reverse the train the other way. A little morning stretching. Inhale, raise the arms up. Take the hands together, tip to the left, back to center, to the right, back to center. Little back bend, look towards the heavens. Little forward bend. Release. Take the elbow across the chest, stretch the shoulders the other way. Excellent. And shake out anything you've been holding on to. And let's get ready to do our Jesuit Examen. If you're new to the group, say hello in the comment box. If you've been here, part of the community, tell us where God has come alive for you in the comment box over this week. And I'll share with you, wow. So this was a lot going on for me this week. This was the inauguration week and my 8-day Jesuit retreat, which was beyond wonderful. It was supposed to be at Sarah Retreat House, but instead it was on Zoom, and Father Tom Weston led it, and it was really a great grace in my life this week. I was really happy to begin it every morning with our little contemplative practice with all of you. So thank you. Second, I'm so very happy to see that the vaccinations are being handed out more every day. I hear now that people over 75, soon 65, the frontline workers are receiving the vaccine, which is very hopeful for all of us. And then last but not least, I have really enjoyed this week our inspirational readings from Mother Teresa, from Pope Francis, and Amanda Gorman. It really helps in life to have exemplars to point us the way, to help us imagine what may be possible. Thank you for joining on this beautiful Friday morning in Hollywood. Hope you have a beautiful weekend and look forward to seeing you on Monday. God bless you.